palpable anger on the floor of the Nigerian Senate as senators took turn to hear their view on the deplorable security situation in the country. Debating the motion sponsored by the Deputy Senate Leader, Senator Boniface Ajayi, and other 106 lawmakers. At Wednesday plenary, Senator lamented that the country had moved into a state of total collapse and urged President Muhammadu Buhari to take full responsibility of the massive security failure. Cross-section of the senators threw their weight behind the call for a ban on open grazing of cattle and call on the president to address the nation on the grave security situation in the country. In his contribution, Senator Michael Okpemi Bamdele, Ekiti Central, said Section 43 of the Constitution that granted right to every Nigerian to live in any part of the country does not encourage anyone to trespass on other person's property. Senator Bamdele also explained that the Country Land Use Act has spelled out the details of the land ownership.
Mr. President, as lawmakers, let's remind ourselves and let's go out of this chamber to tell every Nigerian that Section 43 of our Constitution, which grants the right to every Nigerian to live and acquire property in any part of the country, is a section that confers a right as to where you can live and own property. This is different from ownership of land or property. Ownership of land is thoroughly and decisively addressed in the Land Use Act of Nigeria, and it provides for only 3 means of ownership of land in this country: either by government, federal, state, or local, or individual ownership, or corporate ownership. In other words, even though I have a right to live and acquire property in any part of Nigeria, I do not have a right to trespass on the land owned by any other person in this country.
Other senators that make credible contributions include Senator Tolope Ajayi, Ogun West, Minority Senate Leader Ina Abaribe.
This country is at the precipice of a civil war of even falling apart, of a failed state. So, Mr. President, I rise that the president needs to speak and calm the nation and talk to the nation. Mr. President, here we are, we're just looking at what has just recently happened in America now. In 1 month, the president has passed over 30 executive orders. The president can pass an executive order banning open grazing, banning the criminality of carrying ammunition, guns and AK-47 when you are going. Enumerate all these herdsmen. There are actions that he can take immediately, but nothing is being done.
The police IG has told us these are criminal elements coming from outside Nigeria. And what we should ask ourselves is, if somebody is a criminal and he is in the forest, what is he doing inside there? And we want to paper over matters of this nature to please whatever. What we want to say is simple. We either want to solve this problem, and in order to solve the problem, the desideratum is that all criminal elements that are coming into this country from wherever they are must be flushed out. Simply sit up.
President, we're all in denial, especially government. And if we were not in denial, we would have declared insecurity a national emergency, the way we declared COVID a national emergency. Because if we had done that, we would have had multi-sectoral approach to tackling this insecurity. Right now, we are an endangered species. People are going into homes to abduct, to rape, to do all sorts. Herdsmen are everywhere. We have spoken severally and nothing has been done. Mr. President, posterity beckons, because posterity will not forgive us. We are part of the system. We must do something drastic. We must declare insecurity a national emergency.
The lawmaker also urged the new service chief to re-engineer the nation's security architecture, which they said has suffered setback in the past year.
The general security situation in this country.
Mr. President, I want to make a special plea that please the screening of the new service chief should be done at plenary. They should come and speak to Nigerians what their intentions are. What are they going to do? It's not going to be business as usual. We need to hear from them. It's not at the committee level or so. They should come and speak to us here. And again, let me commend the president. It's better late than never. At least for heeding to the clarion call to change the service chiefs. So this time around, there is need for the service chiefs to address us and address Nigerians as to going forward, what will be the situation.
Meanwhile, the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawa, have referred President Muhammadu Buhari request the newly appointed service chief to the Joint Committee on Defense, Army, Air Force, and Navy for the screening.
Niger Delta Dialogue, rethinking synergy between traditional rulers, security agencies, government officials and civil society. The great people of Niger Delta convened in Port Harcourt in reviewing security situations with traditional rulers. The chairman, His Royal Majesty Eze Bakabaka addressed.
As to what is going on there. Thank God today is the traditional rulers' turn to say for themselves exactly how things are. And somebody was saying something here. He said traditional rulers are not allowed by law to act. He was so correct.
Chief Dr. Judith Bedding gave her overview of the program.
Interesting and exciting people this hall. This is our first time of having a meeting focused primarily on the traditional rulers. The Niger Delta Dialogue was started in June of 2016, and since then we have met with different kinds of people.
In the same view, the traditional rulers address vital issues in their local domain. 7 commissioners of police, military officers, DSS, state governments, PANDEF, and civil societies, different state groups present the founding points. In River State, Mildred Choma, Ben TV News.
The Nigerian Senate says it will engage with executive arm of government on the selection, procurement, and distribution of the administration of COVID-19 vaccine. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawa, made this submission in his welcome speech upon the resumption of the legislative business after the lengthy Christmas break. Lawa said beyond procurement of the vaccine, there's need to be a realistic timeline for the vaccination of Nigerians.
Our country, like many others, is experiencing the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. We therefore need to continue to treat the situation as a national emergency. The National Assembly made special provisions in the 2020 budget, which runs up to 31st March 2021, and the 2021 budget as well. We need to ensure that the funds are properly utilized for the prevention and management of the pandemic. It is equally important for the Senate to engage with the executive arm of government on the selection, procurement, distribution, and administration of the COVID-19 vaccines. We must ensure that the selections of the vaccine for our people follows the appropriate and due scientific process, with National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, giving approval only after exhaustive tests before the final selection and approval. We must ensure that the MDAs responsible for this exercise develop verifiable processes and timelines on how Nigerians will be vaccinated.
Lawa also called on Nigerian leaders to unite against criminality stemming from the activities of bandits and kidnappers, as well as resist the antics of the divisive element bent on instigating inter-ethnic tensions across the country. The President of the Senate, while appealing to Nigerians for a calm in the view of the recent inter-tribal agitation and conflict in some states in the southwest part of the country, described the development as worrisome and one that requires the immediate intervention of the political leaders.
Distinguished colleagues, the very recent emergence of inter-ethnic and inter-tribal conflicts in some parts of our country is worrisome. The Senate calls for calm. The situation also calls for leadership at all levels of government. Leaders must unite to fight and defeat criminality in the country. Leaders must also unite to fight any divisive and centrifugal sentiments and tendencies. Political leaders are problem solvers. As parliamentarians, we should search for possible legislations to address the issues that tend to create tensions amongst our people. We are going to consult and partner with all arms and tiers of governments in our quest for finding lasting solutions to these ugly developments. Let me take the opportunity to appeal to citizens to always use the social media for enhancing unity and brotherhood amongst Nigerians. Surely, the social media platforms can play very positive roles of engendering understanding amongst our diverse people instead of negative usage.
Stakeholders from Enugu State stormed the National Assembly to demand for creation of Adada State from the present Enugu State. The stakeholders, led by immediate past President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Chief John Nwodo, visited Senate President Ahmad Lawal and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. The Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovie Omagege, in his capacity as Chairman, Senate Committee on Constitutional Review, as well as Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Idris Wase, in his capacity as the Chairman, House Committee on Constitutional Review. In their separate interface with the President and Deputy President of the Senate, the Adada State agitator said the state was approved by delegates at the 2014 National Conference and had no petition against it. In and out Enugu State, the leader of the delegation, John Nwodo, said the proposed Adada State has peculiar characteristics, which are no petition against it within or outside Enugu State, unanimity of demand by all the 5 states of the Southeast, approval at the 2014 National Conference, and the need for it to make state in Igbo North 3 and as the presently South, which has Imo, Anambra, Abia, as well against Igbo North, which presently has only Enugu and Ebonyi State.
In Igbo land, we have northern and southern Igbos. In the northern part of Igbo land, you have Enugu State and Ebonyi State. In the southern part, you have Anambra, Imo, and Abia states. Consequently, it is only reasonable that the northern part, which has only 2 states, and more geographical in terms of landmass, should be given, and more underdevelopment should be given the opportunity to have a state created out of it. It is not that other states in the southeast, which are eligible for creation, should not be created. In the southeast, should be given more than 1 state. But I think that if you want to start first, logic, reason, and justice demands that you start with Adana State. Finally, Mr. Senate President,
While the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawal, in his response told the delegation, while Sojourn said they were in order by coming to National Assembly for such demand, his deputy, Ovie Omagege, assured them of support of the committee.
Your quest for the creation of another state, I'm sure the DSP would have told you, you are welcome. And I'll repeat that you are welcome. We are going to give you every opportunity and support that will be necessary for the creation of another state.
However, Amelawa advised them to widen the scope of their lobbying for the agitation for it to scale through in June or July this year, when report will be submitted. The Federal High Court Abuja has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria to unfreeze the account of 20 NSAS campaigners targeted by the Apex Bank after last year anti-police brutality demonstration. The judge, Ahmed Mohammed, issued the order on freezing the account after the legal team of the both CBN and the 20 defendants decided to end the case on Wednesday. The judge commended the two lawyers for their commitment to ensure peace after they announced their decision to withdraw all pending application and the entire suit. In the light of this, the ex parte order issued on November 4, 2020, freezing the account of the defendant pending the investigation by the Central Bank of Nigeria is hereby set aside. An order is also made on freezing the account of the defendant, ruled on Wednesday.